from the WDWL TV, multiplex, live from Grumpy's studio. We bring you with great anticipation the pride of the station, the grumpy old man, me, and the grumpy vulture. Take your bow. I know you're still sleepy. Yeah, take your bow. Yeah, okay. Back in your corner, go take a nap. Look at the camera. There you go. Oh, I hate this time of year. Daylight wasting time. Lose an hour of sleep. Bad enough now, you know. My insomnia gives me few hours of sleep a night. Now I'm going to get 1 hour less. Although, Boots, my 22-pound, has been napping all day, so he's catching up on his time loss. Uh-oh. Hang on. I thought for a minute the tablet was going to start its own again. Well, let's see. Who's here? Oh, look who's here. My wrench is back. All right, and Kathy's here. Okay. And Jenny was the first one. Jenny beat you in, Nomad. Oh. Good to see you back, buddy. I missed you. That, you know, we got to cut that shit out called work. Got to come up with some other. I experimenting tonight. Me and the lighting guy. We put a light down here. Here. In the corner, going up. Now we got one in the top going down, one going up. And it doesn't seem to make a big difference, but we're experimenting with possible lighting if I decide to go through with ripping the studio down and doing what I've got scribbled on a legal pad. I also, if you notice, the WDWL TV, now, that was an accident. It was down low. So I raised it up, not thinking that the counter, so the counter come in just perfect. We didn't need to see the Ohio anyway. Although it's still dark in the vulture's corner. That's okay. Well, you ought to see the shitload of lights that... I got more goddamn LED studio lights than China has rice. Here goes the tablet. What? I thought it was going to play music again. I don't know what's going on. I think it's because it's too old. I really do. It's screens are flashing. I know it's going to play the intro again. It loves playing the intro. It keeps switching back and forth between the home screen and the settings screen. And I know sooner or later it's going to go to the music. It just keeps going back and forth and back and forth. I know I got that new tablet. But it's a Panasonic ToughPad. Now, anybody that knows the word tough, like tough pad, tough book, They're police issue. And my buddy's son, who's in law enforcement out in Arizona, he buys these things, reconditions them, and sells them. So he sent me a tough book, which is a police notebook, laptop, and he sent me a tough pad, which is a tablet. It weighs like 10 pounds. And have you ever looked inside a police car and saw the computers, the laptops? They weigh like 25 pounds because they're made to be indestructible. Can you see me lugging that 10-pound tablet in here every night? But I mean, it's reconditioned to be brand new. So the tablet I got now weighs like a pound. So is the sound okay? I'm using the Blizzard, and I haven't used it in ages. And I was running behind, and I didn't do a sound check. Oh, Mears is here. Mic check. Yeah. How's it sound? Too loud? Not loud enough? To me, it sounds a little too quiet. It don't sound like it's up enough. Although, hang on a minute. I just remembered I can adjust the volume in the headset. Well, it's not so much pushing it back. It's adjusting the volume underneath. Let me crank it back one more notch. Yeah, there's a little pop because I don't like putting the pop screen on because then you can't see the blue LED lights. And I can't find the one. I've got one that mounts in front. I can't find it. You know, I only have like 40 microphones and a shitload of accessories. There is a pop filter that goes on the front so that you can see the LEDs in the back. I don't know where I put it. I have a bad habit. I should have put it away with the microphone. I put the microphone in the box, and I don't know where I put the pop filter because it's a generic. It's not. It doesn't come with the microphone. And it's got a little band that attaches. I can't find it. So, pardon the pop. But I took it down a notch. Is it still too loud? And I moved it back a little bit. See, when I use a different microphone, I know you don't need to see I like to see them. I'm an LED freak. I like to see them. Wait till you see the LEDs I ordered for the studio. You think these are these little dinky things, we don't need to see them. Wait till you see what's coming. Yeah. It'll add a little spiff to the lighting in here. I am a light freak. You should see my shitbox in my RAV4. You want to see a joke? I have a set of police lights on the roof. Yeah. Look up Federal Siren and Signal Vista. But you got to look it up like on Gargle. Because if you go on the federal website, you're going to get the new one, not the one I've got. Yeah, it looks like a giant flying saucer landed on the roof of my shitbox. And then, on the roof of the RAV4, I have a federal Vector. Now that is the police light that looks like a giant V, and it's got multiple pods. Everybody asks me, why? Because I can. They look ridiculous. I use them when I back in the driveway. I irritate the shit out of my neighbors. I go to pull up, I turn all the roof lights on, back in the driveway, like a fire truck, you know. I back in, then I shut them down. Or in the winter, if we have a snowfall, I use them just to irritate the shit out of people, you know. People think a snowplow's coming, and here it is, grumpy. Yeah, but you got to look up Vista and Vector, made by Federal Siren and Signal. And you'll see the flying saucer that's on the roof of the shitbox. And then the Vector, as a matter of fact, New York Police Department uses the new version of the Vector light. I can't remember what Federal calls the new version. But the one that I have on top of the RAV4 came from an auction, a public equipment auction by the New York City Police Department. Oh, when it showed up, it had red and white domes on it, and I was like, oh, I can't use them. So I took all the red ones off, and I put green ones on. Because green in Ohio means either snowplow or security. But if you see the RAV4, which everybody laughs at, I have, as a matter of fact, I've got spare decals. I'll show them to you tomorrow. It says WDWL TV, mobile camera car. Everybody's like, you got to be fucking kidding me. That station's really poor if you're using a 97 RAV4. I said, we are. Yeah, I had a guy, he mentioned it as a joke one day. He goes, oh, those cars would look good with decals. I said, what kind of decals? He said, well, with the station decals. I said, He goes, I work for a decal company. I'll make them for free. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. He made me 2 sets. One for the RAV and one for the shitbox. I didn't put them on the shitbox. Too much rust. But they're on the door of the RAV4. I'll show. I got a spare set over in the storage cabinet in the other studio. I'll bring them out tomorrow. Give you a good laugh. So how many out there are irritated with the time change? And how many out there have to put up with the time change? Now, I know Nomad, they don't do that over in Britain, but over here, twice a year, in the spring, we lose an hour. In the fall, we gain an hour. Now, I like in the fall. I get that extra hour of sleep. But now, I lose an hour. Although my cat is making up for it. He's been in bed all day. Yeah. So who else has to put up with this bullshit? Oh, now everybody's going to complain about the pop. All right. Tomorrow we go back to the old microphone. Oh, you guys do it too? Do you really? I thought that was only an American thing. So you got the bullshit too, huh? I didn't know that. See, there are certain states that voted to do away with it. It's been on Ohio's ballot 10 years. 10 times. And Ohio votes it down. I was like, you idiots. We could do away with it. And everybody's like, no. Who enjoys this shit? Not me. Losing a damn hour of sleep? I don't get that much to begin with. And then, what does it gain us? An hour extra of light? Other states, it don't bother them. I don't know. How's the pop? I backed up from the microphone. I didn't realize it was that bad. But I just felt like using this microphone tonight. I think this time change, if Trump is going to do away with something, let's do away with the time change. I think it's ridiculous. Although the last time it was on the ballot here, it was close. It was like 51-49. They did a recount. Yeah, but the problem is, we don't have that much farming anymore. I mean, I know areas of Ohio that were just rolling farmlands. Now they're rolling housing developments because the farmers couldn't afford to farm. Thank you, Jenny. I like it too. I wish my buddy had the other one. The other one has red LEDs in it. Oh. Yeah, this one's called the Blizzard because it's white and blue. And the other one is called the Blaze because it's got red and black. Yeah, but, gargle the aerial maps and you'll see. Gargle an aerial map from back in the 50s and gargle one now. And you'll see how much farming is now housing. Shit, we buy most of our goddamn produce from Argentina. They farm like hell down there. Yeah, I know. It was to help the farmers, yeah. But we don't have that many farmers anymore. We got nothing here. No farming, no manufacturing. And then they want to put a bunch of tariffs out. Yeah, let's Let's piss the world off. Enact tariffs. Who pays for it? Us. Because prices are going to go blah. Matter of fact, I've noticed some places already are jacking prices, and they're blaming tariffs. And the areas that they're getting their merchandise from don't have a tariff. Like when I went to buy ink for my printer. The last time it was $17.99. This time, $30.99 for the same damn ink. Let's gouge the public a little bit. That's all right. I found an eBay site. I got it for $13.99 because I'm cheap. When were you in Cleveland? I hope you were here when it was really nice. At one time, Cleveland was what they called an all-American city. We got an award from the president. We also had well over 1 million in population. Now we're down to like 600,000. People are like, Cleveland, I'm getting the hell out of here. Oh, I stand corrected. I'm wise. Or frugal. Frugal, it sounds better. I'm frugal. When you say you're cheap, people look at you like, oh, you're an asshole. You say you're frugal, they say, oh, you're wise. Either way. I'm going to go back to the old microphone tomorrow. I don't like this setup anyway. But it was over on the side console. I was like, oh, I haven't used it in a while. See, it's on a desk stand. The other one's mounted on an arm. I like that one better because it brings the mic out this way. Not to mention, it's a little off balance and it wants to fall in my lap. Yeah, I need a counterweight in the back end over here. But it's made for a different type microphone. I just cobbled it all together. Not to mention, it's got it's hard to believe. This little device does a 48-volt conversion to power the microphone. It's amazing, that little tiny tube. Because these mics are made to be hooked to mixers, not standalone. So one of my followers sent me that little gizmo, and he goes, try this. I'm like, that little thing ain't going to do shit. It works. But I got enough microphones I could have almost one for every day of the week. Thanks to my buddy. That guy, it was amazing when we went through his stuff. He had microphones in boxes. I don't think he ever opened the box. I know with the one MXL microphone, the patriotic one, the seal was still on the box. I broke the seal, opened it up, like, wow. If he liked a mic, he bought it. And he hardly used any of them. He had one old standby. Matter of fact, I told his son, keep it for memento. Because he used the same mic over and over and over, and he had shelves full of microphones. Pardon me. I got a vulture in my throat. Oh. You know, I told you I was into the eagle watching, and I'm watching 3 different nests. I'm watching eagles in Florida, and I'm watching eagles out in California in San Bernardino, and then I'm watching eagles down in Georgia. And I mentioned that the pair of nesting eagles out in San Bernardino last year, they laid 2 eggs. And Mom didn't take good care of them. And neither egg hatched. This year, she laid 3. And I'll tell you what, she was constantly turning them eggs, which they say keeps the embryo from sticking to the shell. So, 2 eggs hatched. And the third one, they were like, oh, it's overtime. Well, starting Thursday, there was a little tiny hole in the egg. And the hole got bigger and bigger and bigger. And Saturday night, it hatched. And now we got 3 little eaglets. And it's hilarious because the little guy, the 2 brothers keep shoving him out of the way when Mom comes with food. They're like, hey, get out of the way, get out of the way. Well, finally today, Mom made sure she was feeding the little guy. So 1 egg, let's say the first one hatched, then 2 days later, the second, and now it's like 2 weeks later, the third one hatched. But it's a nice, healthy little chick. But it hatched Saturday night, overnight, because I don't watch at night. But they have a camera that goes 24 hours a day up on the nest. And the guy from the Division of Wildlife said it hatched like 1 o'clock in the morning. He finally came out of the shell. So, this is a rarity. He said because very rarely do eagles lay 3 eggs. I guess she's making up for last year. But yeah, I was happy to see it today. I turned on the computer, like, whoa, 3 little eaglets. But I'll tell you what, I give them eagles credit. Because Monday, they had a hell of a snowstorm. And all you could see was her head. She was covered with snow. And she never bothered to get off that nest. Right. Fobby cam. Now the ones in Florida is Windows on Wildlife. It's either window or windows. Windows on Wildlife. And I can't remember what the third one is. I'll have to look that one up. But yeah, Fobby, Friends of Big Bear Valley. Oh, I remembered it. That's what Fobby stands for. Friends of Big Bear Valley. Did you watch it when she was covered with snow? Oh, my God. I felt sorry for that poor bird. But she stayed on them eggs. I guess she learned last year. because they said she didn't turn them enough and she was kind of neglecting them. And she's not a new mother. This is like her either sixth or seventh hatching, so it's not like she didn't know what she was doing. She just got a little lazy. Is the volume okay? I backed up a little more. I couldn't really hear myself, so I adjusted my headphone. Okay, I stand corrected. I knew I had the window and the wildlife. Yeah, window too. That's why you're the wrench, buddy. You're on top of things. But I have 3 computers going. I've got one over here, and then I have 2 over here. And I watch Eagles, and Eagles. Although, today, I did a full test on the new computer. I took the one computer and I got the brand new one. And so far, you ought to see. Talk about, I look twice as good, which is scary. But that graphics card's impressive. But the only thing that's in that new computer is Gargle and Prism. That's it. Now, the natural stuff that comes with Windows. But I'm not downloading anything else. Although Gargle was already in it. So the only thing I put in it was Prism. I think the guys that programmed this thing knew that people can't stand that goddamn Microsoft Edge. It's a recreation of their old Bing. It sucks. So it's got Microsoft Edge, which comes with Windows, and then they added Gargle. Have any of you used that Edge? To me, it sucks. Well, this one? It's AKG. They're professional studio headsets. My buddy's son that has the studio out in Burbank sent me them. Now these are they're the K52s. There, come on. Now these are the AKG K240s. These are even better. I don't like them. They're more professional. They're a better grade than the ones I got. I don't care for them. The cushions are a little harder than these. I don't know. But AKG is a killer headset. Plus those, I have to use a headset amplifier with. Although I like using them because they got tubes. I have 3 of these. 3 different manufacturers, 3 different color tubes. I got red tubes, orange tubes, and blue tubes. But yeah, with the other headset, you got to use an amplifier. Otherwise, you can't hear them that well. I got more shit. You'd think I was a professional station here. I got microphones up the ass. I got microphone arms up the ass. 3 headset amplifiers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 headsets. Yeah, I got 2 of these. I got the 240s, and then I have the others are cheapies, $10, $15, $20 headsets. The ones I started with. But these are nice. Man, they're nice and soft. They hug my ears. Yeah, like my ears need to be hugged. They're really nice and comfy. The headband doesn't, it keeps nice pressure, but not too much. I like them. I really do. They beat the hell out of the cheap-ass ones. I don't know what they cost. You'll have to look them up. Gargle them. AKG headsets. Probably $60, $70, maybe. I don't know. See, in the recording industry, with all the shit my buddy's son does, he doesn't buy super expensive headsets because every time one gets used, it's got to be sent out to be sanitized. And it's got to be done by a professional so that if some recording artist comes in, he can show him the certificate. So that all goes back to 2020, Back before 2020, everybody used to say, hey, there's a little goo on this one, just wipe it off. So, unless he's got some big recording artist, he don't buy these. These are only for the big shots. And then even so, he's got to send them out and get them. But like he said, after like 4 sanitizings, he shit cans them. So he shit can 2 my way with sanitizing certificates. You use these at work? Well, not these. But I'll tell you what, you would love these. These AKGs, you'd love them. They're really comfy. I could almost go to sleep with them on. That's how comfy they are. But for some reason, them K240s, they've got a little stiffer. I don't know why. You would think every one of their headsets that they manufacture would have the same headpiece. But those are a little too stiff for me. I like something hugging my ears. I hate these 5-leg bases. I like to put my feet under the chair. But otherwise, I love the chair. I didn't get shit done today. I don't. Maybe it was a mental thing with the time change. I didn't. I had to go to the store. I put that off till tomorrow. The only thing I did was, well, my buddy's wife called me this time. It was her turn. Now, next Sunday, I have to call them. Every Sunday, we chat. We have known each other since 7th grade. Went through school together. And when we graduated, we still stayed in touch. Every so often, we go to lunch. But yeah, it's the three of us since 7th grade. And God forbid I don't call her. I think she times it because we set it for noon every Sunday. If I'm like 12:02, she's bitching me like, hey, it's 12:02. Sorry. So I got to watch the clock. 11:59, I'm dialing. So that by exactly the stroke of 12, the phone rings. I told her she's getting crabby in her old age. She told me the next time she sees me, she's going to smack me. Oh, yeah, I hate the drafting industry is higher class than us. But yeah, I had one of them as a matter of fact, it came from the old PBX room at the courthouse. Because when they did away with the PBX room, they got rid of all the stuff, and I claimed a chair. I said, can I have one of them? Well, we're really supposed to put them in the dumpster. I said, well, the trunk of my car looks like a dumpster. He said, okay, take one. I used to like going down the PBX room. All the operators had that one with the little microphone and plug in the wires. Hold on, sir. Hold on, sir. Okay, disconnect that call. Hold on, sir. Yeah. We used to have, when it was Ohio Bell, right up across from the shopping plaza was a big PBX building. God, they had 5 floors. And now it's like storage. No more PBX. I used to love watching them. Women would be lined up. And then there was a supervisor. And she would walk back and forth. She had a headset. Must have had a 500-foot cord on it. It was plugged in all the way down to the end. She'd be walking down with the cord. Well, that's how they could tell if somebody was still on the phone. They would tap the end of that plug. Because maybe a PBX operator 3 stations down had a call plugged into that person. So, because the calls, whoever answered, so they would take the end of that plug and they would just tap the edge where it plugged in. And if there was static, that meant they were on the phone. And that's why you'd hear that goddamn clicking, because it was somebody tap, 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 trying to put another call through. Now you just get a busy signal. But back in the day when you had operators, they tell you, someone's on the line, hold on, sir. Those were the days. Made a lot of jobs, PBX operators. Look who showed up. Why, it's Daily Roundup. Good seeing you. I guess Sunday night is good for a crowd. Look at that, we're up to 5. We haven't had 5 in quite a while. I was in Master Sergeant Retires today, and I saw VOP in there. I thought she'd be here. Well, see, these are for recording studios. I don't know if AKG makes one. Yeah, I know what you mean. You need the one. Some of my cheapy headsets have a pull-out microphone. These are strictly for either like listening to music or for recording. I never went through the whole line of AKG stuff. So I don't know if they make one with a mic built into it. Hey, when you get shit for free, why get nosy? Although I would like to know what they cost. Maybe tomorrow I'll be gargling AKG. Not that I need headsets. I got enough. And microphones. And microphone arms. And lights. Although what's neat about these lights, they're remote controlled. I don't have to get up and turn the dial on them. I can just push the button, make them brighter. I think they're down about as far. But yeah, I could make them brighter. Turn them on, turn them off. Kind of neat. But wait until you see the other lights that are coming. They won't be here for like 2 weeks. But those are neat. Anybody that's not into LEDs, they're going to irritate the shit out of them. I'll tell you that right now. I got them with the idea of using them in the new studio. If I go through with that mess. I realized today, boy, it's going to be a lot of work to tear this studio down. Although I really like the idea of the horseshoe with the multiple monitors. Did anybody check out WFLA? Just get the idea what I'm thinking of in a smaller. God, they got monitors everywhere, and that's for these. That's not bad. Not bad at all. Even being wise and frugal, that ain't bad. Oh, Beats. Yeah, I wish I had a set of Beats. I hear they're killer. although I hear they're a bit pricey. And you know, I'm wise and frugal. Isn't that the company that, what's his name? Dr. Dre? Isn't that his company, Beats? I might be wrong. For some reason, Dr. Dre sticks in my mind when I hear Beats. But there's a lot of things that stick in my mind, too. Well, you know, for something that you're going to have to throw away after the fourth time you sanitize it, that's not a bad price. Because he can only sanitize headsets 4 times. Some California bullshit, you know. California got more regulations than Vietnam has weeds. Now, see, I've got earbuds. I can't use them. I hate them. Things dangling out of my ear. I guess you got to get used to them. Me, I feel like something, you know, like a bug's in my ear, and I go to scratch it, and there. I'm like, oh, there it went. Yeah, I feel bad because my son bought me a real good set for Christmas, and I hate them. I just hate them. Now, I've got, for certain microphones, I can't use these. So I've got it goes over the ear hook. Now, I like those, but them goofy, dangly. And you know, I see people in the store with them. Yeah, I'm like, hey, you got some shit in your ear. Oh, sorry. I just can't. I can't get used to them. I guess I'm too fucking old. Now, a friend of mine has earbuds that are like hearing aids. They fit right inside the ear canal, and now he told me those are comfy, but them dangly things, I can't. Like I say, I think there's something in my ear, and I go to flick it. There goes the earbud, and I'm searching for it. Good thing they're white. If they were a different color, I'd never find them. Hold on, I'll probably end up strangling myself here. I gotta spin my halo out of the way. And then I gotta move the back support. Oh, come on, it catches on my belt. Now I gotta position the back support. Oh. I bumped the microphone. Now, these I like. I love these. But then, leave it to Apple to come up with something like that. But I'll tell you what, I see them everywhere. Apple, God, they make a fortune on them things. Not to mention they're expensive. What are they, like $259? I know they're not cheap. Although anything with an Apple logo on it, expect on emptying your wallet. But it's amazing. Now I know there's knockoffs, so everybody I see not necessarily has Apple earbuds, but boy, they caught on, especially with the younger generation. I see them everywhere. Yeah, I hear those bone induction ones are outstanding. I was reading up on them recently. If they weren't so pricey, I'd try them. Although that came from the hearing aid industry with those, what do they call it? The cochlear ear implants. A friend of mine's got them ear implants. He couldn't hear from birth. And at age 21, they did them implants. And it's amazing. He told me, he says, he didn't know what it was like to hear. Yeah, see, that's a little pricey for me. Being wise and frugal. I guess I can't use the word cheap anymore, but I am cheap. See, I had a Prime membership, and when it expired, when I went to renew it, see, originally it was like $100. Now it's what? $139, $150 for a Prime. That's a little. I don't order that much from Amazon. I really don't. I'll do Amazon for price checking, but I don't buy that much from them. Okay, I'm cheap. Although, I don't know if you can still do it. You could get a Prime membership without paying. And then you order something and you got the free shipping. And then you cancel a Prime membership. I don't know if you can still do that. I used to do that. In order to get the next day shipping, I'd buy the Prime member, sign up for it, buy the item. I'd get the item the next day, then go in, cancel the Prime. I don't know if you can still do that. I think Prime finally caught on and went, oh, grumpy. But that's what I used to do. I'd get impatient. I go, oh, I want that. Buy the Prime, get overnight shipping. Okay. And then you had like 7 days to cancel. I'd cancel the next day. Right after I got my item. I go in on Prime, cancel. And I'm sure there were many people that did that. I wasn't the only one. But see, I haven't been on Amazon. Well, I price check. But I haven't been buying anything to know if you can still do that shit with Prime. Oh, I did it a lot. I'm sure they got irritated with me. Because that's what I do. I'd find an item, I'd buy it, I'd buy the Prime to get the overnight shipping. And then once I had the item in my hand, I canceled the Prime. But I haven't bought anything on Amazon in well over a year. Easy. Because I'll tell you what, a lot of times I just find it on eBay. And all right, I'll wait 3 to 5 days to get something. Don't bother me. Except the KVM switch, because I can't do anything with the computers until I get that KVM switch. And they haven't shipped it yet. That's what's holding me up. I'm catching up on the chat. It's not aimed at me. Okay. I know the other night, I can't remember who it was commenting, and I wasn't with it with the chat, and I think they figured, oh, that asshole ain't answered me. The hell with him. So, plus, that's why I made it bigger, so I can read it. And I like it. Everybody likes it. Everybody said they. Now, see, for me, the reason I like it is whatever they say, it's all in one box. Not like when it was just white lines after line after line. You didn't know where it ended, where it began. This way, when somebody makes a comment, it's all encapsulated in that nice little neon box and a different color every time. That's another thing I like. It makes it interesting. Oh, we're up to 6. Holy shit. I wish we could get off of 73 already. Although we did go from 72 to 73. I'm trying to get to that 75 mark. That way it puts us a little closer to the 100. Then like today, Nomad knows I bounce all over the place. And I was in one streamer today. Matter of fact, she's pissed off at me. She won't answer me when I go in the chat. Today it was the most boring. And I'm not saying that I got an exciting, but just the videos she was putting up were boring as shit. She got like 7,000 subscribers. I like, Jesus. And her content isn't something that I think is earth-shattering. But to have 7,000 subscribers? Jeez. Yeah, I was in MSG. He had a pretty interesting. He had a guy that was with the old guard. This guy actually walked the tomb of the unknown soldier, which is a real honor. So I caught that stream today. Although I usually try to catch Master Sergeant retired. I like the guy. And then I try to catch Stone Vet whenever I can. I like him because he's just crazy. Although I like it since Hippie's back. Although some of the movies he was doing, like that afternoon movie thing with him and Hippie, I was like, oh, God. Yeah, I'll tell you, if you didn't catch it today, go in and watch. That is quite interesting. That vet that he had on that actually qualified to walk as a guard for the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, which is like one of the highest honors beside a presidential thing. It was amazing the shit that they got. Oh. I mean, that is one of the highest honors you can have. To walk the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. But, man, what he told me he had to go through. Talk about dedication. Holy crap. And you're out there. Like 24-hour shift. And Arlington gets some really shitty weather. He was talking about walking that in the snow. And they watch you. He said they film it in case you make a boo-boo. And he said, you don't break stride. You're like a robot. But like he said, for the honor, he did whatever he was told to, but it was interesting to know the behind the scenes of what they have to go through in order to qualify. Because he said out of 50, there were only 10 that were chosen. And these were part-timers. They weren't the actual, like if every now and then they got to give them poor guys some time off. So then they call in these standbys. But it was really informative. I'll tell you what, there's a lot of stuff on MSG that, like today, was a bit of history. You actually go in and learn something. And I like him because he's a, God, how old is he? And he's still racing motorcycles? God, I give that guy a lot of credit. I like when he shows the videos when he's got his GoPro mounted on that bike. How they can lean over like that, although, like he said, you got a knee pad. You rest your knee on the corner. Me, I'd be falling off the pucker. Although I never rode that kind of bike. Those crotch rockets scare the shit out of me. Just give me my big hog that had a lot of protection around it. And the power I needed when I needed it. But I was not an asshole on my motorcycle, I'll tell you that. For two reasons. One, I don't look good with road rash and broken bones. And two, I waited long enough for that 100th anniversary Road King Screaming Eagle. And three, I picked it up from the factory. And then I had to sell it. The only reason I sold it is I didn't trust myself with it anymore. I was afraid I was going to dump it. And that bike didn't have a scratch on it. It must have had like 500 coats of wax on it, though. had more chrome on it than a Harley shop. I ordered it that way from the factory. When I went to pick it up, the guy told me, he said, I don't think there's another accessory you could have put on here. I said, well, yeah, I know. I went down the list. One of them, 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 one of them. Matter of fact, the guy told me when I picked it up, he said, we've never had one that had this much chrome on it from the factory. I said, I didn't want to put all that stuff on. You guys can put it on. I never did dig the pictures out, did I? I'll have to dig the pictures out. Although, wait a minute. They might be right here. Hold on. I might have them right here. They'll be a little hard to see. If these are the... Oh, yeah. Okay, there's Grumpy on his pride and joy. The 100th anniversary Road King Screaming Eagle. Hold the picture steady, Grumpy. Look at that. Oh, that was an impressive bike. Oh, yeah. Yeah, let's talk about chrome. How's that for chrome? Look at that motor. I don't think I could get another piece of chrome on that engine. See if I can get a little better shot here. I forgot I had them right here. Yeah, there's one a little closer. Look at that paint scheme. That only came on the Screaming Eagle. There we go. Grumpy's. That was a hell of a bike, man. Oh, my God. I hated to sell that thing. But I was afraid I was going to dump it. And if you dump it, it devalues it. Especially being the 100th anniversary. My buddy had a 95th anniversary. I was like, big deal. Matter of fact, right after the 95th anniversary, I put the order in for mine. And I'm glad I did. Although there were guys selling their slots. They were, I think the beginning of 96. Or, right after the 95th anniversary. So I ordered mine 5 years in advance because I knew everybody wanted the 100th anniversary bikes. So I wanted to make sure my order was planted well in advance. And then every couple of months I'd go through the Chrome catalog and go, oh, add this, add this, add this. Add this. Add this. Matter of fact, the guy at the factory he did the build orders. He'd say, are you ever going to stop? He says, every time you order something, I got to redo the build order. I said, can't you just add that on? He said, no. I have to redo the whole order because certain things, got to fall into place on the assembly line. I said, after the last time he called me, I said, I think I'm done. And then I'd stop at the Harley store and went, oh, that's not in the catalog. What's the part number? I'd get the part number. I'd email the guy at the factory. I want this. Yeah, he'd have to start the order as if I just placed it. Pissed him off. He couldn't wait till that 5 years was over with. Because I think it was 60 days before they built it. There was a cutoff. He told me, no more. I said, well, what if I find something? Too bad. And then I did find something. And he said, oh, you're lucky. Because tomorrow is the actual cutoff. But yeah, every time I ordered another hunk of chrome, he had to start the order all over again. I'm glad. I bet you he was glad. That was, no more 100th anniversary. Because like the 105th anniversary, big deal. It didn't mean that much. Same thing with the 95th. The 100th anniversary was the big one. That was the most bikes Harley had ever built in I don't know how many years. But boy, when I picked it up from the factory, talk about getting treated like a king. I got the tour. I got lunch. Big bag of goodies. All kinds of Harley accessories, keychains, and all kinds of shit. And what was nice about their, although in their guest cafeteria, for people that are picking their bikes up from the factory, they had a beer tap. You could help yourself to a couple of beers. I was like, I don't think so. As much as I wanted one, be my luck, I'd pull out of the factory, get stopped by a cop. Here, blow into this. Oh, we're going to tow that bike. No way, Jose. The mic is cutting out? Oh, shit. I wonder what's going on. I ain't touched nothing. Oh, wait a minute. I know. Might be the damn USB plug. My leg's banging against it. All right, let me move it out of the way. Yeah, I think that was it. I was bumping the USB plug. Although it might be this little gizmo, too. That's tight. I'm only going to use it tonight. Tomorrow I go back to the other one. I like the other one better. That rainbow effect. Multicolors. And then wait till the new lights get here. Oh, ho, ho, ho. I'm not going to give it away. But they are cool. They're going to be one about here and one about here. Well, one on either side. They're, I think, 43 inches tall. And they're neat. I ordered them with the new studio in mind. But once they get here, I'm going to use them. I'm still debating on that. I like the idea. But man, it's a lot of work to tear everything apart. Build a desk. Get all the computers set up. all the monitors set up. I don't know. It's on the fence. Because it's going to be a lot of work. Believe me, a lot of work to change everything around. I'll admit, it would look cool. It would look like a real TV station or a real news studio. But we're not a news studio. But the effect would be neat. I'm still scribbling on the legal pad. I spotted these lights there. I was like, oh, order them. I know I blew the budget. Oh, jeez. Although tomorrow will be the first initial test of the washer. I read the manual. I was like, ay, 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 ay. 10 wash settings, 6 different rinse cycles, 4 different temperature settings. More goddamn buttons than a SpaceX launch. Why can't they just make a, wash, rinse, spin? No. Like I was reading The Delicates. One setting I won't have to worry about. Delicates. Mine, I need harsh. Although I got a boat motor in mine. None of them hubcaps. Now see, my buddy and his wife got one with a hubcap. She goes, oh, I love it. Oh. How does a hubcap do the job of an agitator spins them down, and then the blades churn them. They get clean. Not that I get things that dirty. Well, in the summer, if I'm working on a car, grease, oil. I have a bad habit of doing this. I have a stack of rags in the car. Nope, here's Grumpy. Then I look at the shirt going, how the hell did that happen? Although I don't wear these to work on the car. No. Believe it or not, this shirt's 3 years old. Not a stain on it. Now, I do have some. Oh, you ought to see some of my shirts when I went in to roll your own cigarettes. I had a little machine, you buy the tubes, and then the machine packed the tobacco. I don't care how I set that stupid thing. It never packed the tobacco tight enough. I'd be smoking a cigarette about halfway down. The cherry'd fall off the end, burn a hole in my shirt. I had more shirts with burn holes in them, and everybody's like, what the hell? Roll your own cigarettes. Those days, after I ruined a bunch of shirts, it was like, that's it. I'll go back to buying them. It wasn't that much cheaper, believe me. To buy the tubes, buy the tobacco, you had to buy the machine. Then you had to make sure that the cut was right on the tobacco or the machine wouldn't pack them. My days of being wise and frugal, also known as cheap. Oh, did I ruin shirts? Oh my God. And then, every now and then, you know, my insomnia would be driving me crazy. I'd sit up in bed, light a cigarette, which I know you're not supposed to do. Next thing you know, I'd be like, ah! Oh, burn mark in my chest. That would. I give the machine away. I was like, here. Says, here's some tubes. Here's some tobacco. Take it all. And then for a while, I'd smoke a pipe. Because you looked suave and debonair, you know, smoking a pipe. The only problem is, with a pipe, you need teeth to keep it in your mouth. Be smoking a pipe and I'd forget, you know. Drop the pipe, tobacco would be burning all over me. Ah! But I like the pipes though. I used to have a couple of them Sherlock Holmes ones. Be walking around with that. I think I did that for about a year. That was it. No more pipes. It really amazes me you can still buy them. Of course, the younger generation don't use them for smoking the tobacco we used to smoke. But I went online one day. I was like, oh, let me see about pipes. Surprising how many companies still make them. But I rarely see anybody in public with a pipe. If I do, they're my age. But back in the 50s, God, everybody smoked a pipe back in the 50s. God, my grandfather must have had like 60 different pipes. He always, that and cigars. My grandfather was a big cigar smoker too. I tried it for a while. I used to smoke them ones, them stogies that were about a foot long. Oh, really? Every now and then my cat will get up here and watch with me. I found it was on a news story. This cat that had an extremely loud meow. And I'm playing the news story, and all of a sudden my cat come running in like, where is he? Where is he? He jumped up here in my lap, looking. I can't remember where I should have saved the news story because he bolted out of the bedroom from a sound sleep. Where's that cat? He was going to defend me. Like, where is that guy? Gets up here in my lap, he's looking around. But he was in a sound sleep. Mir's going bye-bye. See ya, buddy. Thanks for dropping in. Anybody else leaving? No. Good. Well, it was nice having 6 people in the chat. That was great. I loved it. I wish we could get like 10 or 20. Oh, although I probably couldn't follow it with all them people in here. I'm glad Mir's dropped in, although he's been a regular. He pops in. Well, I knew you were still here. I didn't think you'd leave without saying goodbye, Jenny. I'm glad you're feeling better. At least I hope you are. That cold must have really kicked your ass, huh? I hate being sick. I take a handful of vitamins in the morning. A, B, C, D, Q, X, G, you name it. I used to take a multiple. And my doctor told me, you don't get enough benefit out of a multiple. And he gave me a list. Like C, D, what have I got here? Oh, it's like vitamin C, vitamin D, biotin. That's one. Gargle that, biotin. Biotin is good for hair and nails. I got nails you need a buzzsaw to cut through. It strengthens your nails. And then the vitamin C, oh my God. You could choke a racehorse, the goddamn things are so big. But yeah, he told me, instead of a multiple, take this, zinc. If I don't have a zinc, I just chew on some zinc. Not really. Because I told the doctor, I said, yeah, I take that Centrum for seniors. He goes, because they can only put so much in the vitamin. So you don't get the benefit. Like if it's got vitamin A in it, what the amount that's in there don't really help you. So he told me, stop taking the multiple and take this, like the vitamin A, D, D3, I think it is, vitamin C, biotin, zinc. There's another one or two I can't remember. I pour them all in hand, first thing in the morning. Well, that's good to hear, Jenny. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. I haven't been posting much on my faceplant page. The only thing that goes up is this, the stream. If I start posting a bunch of shit, then everybody... I mean, I shouldn't bitch, but a lot of my high school people are like, oh, hey, and then if you don't answer everybody back, they get all pissed off. So, the only thing goes up on Faceplant is my daily stream. Because I do have several followers that watch it on there rather than coming in on YouTube. Matter of fact, the one nurse I used to work with at the hospital, she tells me she watches the stream at lunch. And she bitched at me about going 2 hours. She's like, I have to stop and then pick it up later. It's like, watch it at home. Watch it at lunch. But at least she watches. Yeah, she messaged me one day. I watch your stream every day at lunch because she always gives it a like. And then one of my high school buddies, he watches. He's down in Florida, I think. Yeah, I think Florida. He's a painter. I'm lucky to draw a straight line with a ruler. God, some of the artwork that he does. Oh my God. And he sells it too. But gorgeous. I don't know how they can do that. What? Why am I getting the chopped liver thing? Oh, never mind. Like the days back of Saturday Night Live with Gilda Radler. Never mind. Or was that Jane Curtin? I can't remember which one did the never mind. I miss the old... Oh, God. I used to love Saturday Night Live with Aykroyd and Belushi. Lorraine Newman. Was it Lorraine Newman? I think it was Lorraine Newman, Gilda Radner. I'm trying to think who she was married to. He did Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory. God, what the hell was his name? I can't remember now. Brain dead. But, Belushi was always high as a kite, but some of the routines he did. I'll never forget they did this Roman skit. And Belushi had a torn toga on, And Dan Aykroyd come up with it. Hey, Euripides! And Belushi was like, hey, Eumenides! You have to be there in the moment to think it was funny, but it was hilarious. But Belushi was... Yeah, it was a sad day when he took the eternal nap. Gene Wilder. There you go. VOP saved the day. Gene Wilder. I could never picture the two of them together. But it worked for them. Until she had cancer. And then that was... I have a CD of basically her life. How she started out. I want to say Second City, but I'm not positive. And then got discovered for Saturday Night Live, But yeah, I could never picture her and Gene Wilder together. Yeah, the new one sucks. I watched the 50th, but I don't... It just can't match what they had back with the original cast. And I think that's why I can't really watch the new stuff. Because I constantly think about Aykroyd and Belushi and Lorraine Newman and Gilda and how crazy they were. And they wrote their own stuff. That was what was amazing. They wrote it, they performed it. But once Belushi was gone, Aykroyd tried to hold it together. And they could never get that, what do I want to say? Not charisma, but you know what I mean. I loved when they used to do the cheeseburger. No fries, chips, no Coke, Pepsi. And then Aykroyd would be taking orders. He'd be yelling back, cheeseburger. And then Belushi would be out, cheeseburger. I'll have some fries. No fries. Chips. Okay. I'll have a Coke. No Coke. Pepsi. That routine, that I couldn't wait. And the cone heads. Oh, I loved the cone heads. Oh, my God. The cone heads were great. Although, I think that's when Jane Curtin was Mrs. Conehead. And then they were always, yeah, we're from a little town in France. Yeah, Coneheads. What other routines did they do besides Coneheads and cheeseburger? And, oh, what was the one that Mrs. Lubner, what's that? Aykroyd and Gilda head rubs. Yeah. Time for a noogie. Yeah, Bill Murray and Chevy Chase. I'm trying to think of some of the replacements that came on later. Yeah, Mr. Bill. Oh, yeah. Oh, God, yeah, Mr. Bill. Oh, my God. I hadn't realized how much I really missed of them. See, they don't do that stuff today. Although the younger generation, they don't think that's funny. I loved Mr. Bill. Oh, no! Oh, God. Now, you know, I never really cared for Steve Martin. As an actor, he does a pretty good job. But when he was on Saturday Night Live, when he'd do the arrow through the head thing, with, although he could play a banjo, he was a hell of a banjo player. But to me, he just didn't fit the... Especially, you know, what was that King Tut? When he did his King Tut thing. Trying to think of the words of that. All right. Two Wild and Crazy Guys was okay. But to me, Steve Martin was a little too... He wasn't crazy enough. If you put him against Aykroyd and Belushi, Steve didn't fit the mold. Now, he did some crazy stuff, but Steve was sold on himself. That's the problem. You know, he was like, oh, I'm going to save the show. No. But as an actor, he did some pretty good stuff. At least I think so. I'm trying to think of some of the movies he did. Didn't he do Planes, Trains, and Automobiles? Now, that was a good movie. Who played against him? The big guy. What was the big guy's name? I'm going brain dead. Save me, chat. Who was the guy that played opposite Steve Martin in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles? I can picture him, too. Can't think of his name. And I've got the movie on DVD. I haven't watched it in eons, but I got the movie. I can't think of who the hell that was. John Candy. I knew the chat would save me. VOP saved me. John Candy. I liked in that movie when they were in the hotel room together. And Steve Martin gets out of the shower and he grabs what he thinks is a towel. And it's John Candy's underwear. I still remember that to this day. I was like, he was wiping his face and he's like, oh no. That was a good movie. Especially the ending. When John Candy really had nowhere to go. Steve Martin was like, oh, okay. Man, those were the days. Wow. Boy, we go all over the place here, don't we? Jeez. We start with the time change and we end up with Saturday Night Live. Makes it interesting. Because you never know what's coming next. Although, a lot of times I don't know what's coming next. Whatever pops into my head. Like, bing, light bulb goes off. Okay, let's go south. All right, we're going to it this way. We'll go that way. Yeah, Martin Short, Three Amigos. I'm kind of on Martin Short. But see, my problem is I'm stuck on the original cast. And you can never get anybody that's going to fit that part. Because like Belushi, Belushi had little help with his comedy, if you know what I mean. And they said basically before showtime he'd be back. They couldn't stop him. Oh, a hell of a lot better, Jenny. Yeah. Although there were many nights I was talking to myself. I got to thank Nomad for bumping the crowd up. He put me out everywhere. If I'm in Stone Bet's chat, boy, he's popping a link in. Whatever chat we're both in together, bang, in comes the link. He needs extra pay. I'll throw a few extra pounds in your check next week. 0 plus 0 equals 0, yeah. Yeah, look at, matter of fact, a couple weeks ago I was watching some of the early shit that I did out in the backyard in a lawn chair. I was like, oh, geez. Yeah, I'd put the lawn chair out, set the GoPro up, turn it on, sit there and talk to myself. Matter of fact, I haven't used them, 2 of them. And every accessory on earth for a GoPro. Oh my God. See, my problem is I can't just buy a GoPro. I have to buy the GoPro, and then I have to get every accessory they make for it. And 90% of the accessories I've never used. But I've got them in case I need them. Yeah, there was a kit. I ordered a kit, 9,000 accessories, and hey! Although the first GoPro I had was a knockoff. It wasn't a real GoPro. And then I went on eBay, and a guy was selling one still in the box. So I bought a GoPro. And you know what was amazing? There's no difference between the two. That Chinese company that reverse engineered their knockoff did a hell of a job because compared side by side, you couldn't tell which one I was using. But I have every accessory made for GoPro cameras. And same thing when DSLR cameras came out. Does Grumpy have one? No. Grumpy has 4. Because one ain't enough. And the other 3. Now, I use one religiously. The other 3 I haven't touched in a year. But I got them. Now, does anybody remember when Sony came out with the Mavica camera? It's a unique camera because it records on floppy disks. I have 3. And they're amazing cameras. Plus, I have a case of floppies. But, yeah, you pop a floppy disk in, and that's your basically film or SD card, a floppy. I'll never forget once I was doing some freelance work at the auto show, and I was shooting with I popped that floppy disk out, and there was a little kid standing next to me. He goes, "What is that?" They call it a floppy disk. Well, what does it do? Well, it's the film for the camera. But what does it do? It's the pictures record on this. Well, let me see them. Well, they're on here. You have to put it in a computer. Why? Because that's how you see the pictures. You can't see them just... So I held it in front of him. I said, "Here, do you see any pictures?" "No." "That's because you got to plug it in a computer." "Well, show me." "I don't lug a computer around, sorry." And then he goes up to his father. He has a camera that uses these goofy discs. And then his father come over. "What kind of camera you got?" "It's a Mavica. Uses floppy disks." "Floppy disks? Those went out eons ago." "I know. That doesn't mean the camera isn't any good." "Well, why don't you buy a DSLR? I says, "I'm on a photo shoot. Can I leave now?" You know, wanted to smack them both. That little kid. "Well, let me see the pictures." "Here. Look at the disc. Do you see any pictures?" "No." I'll tell you what, though. That's a hell of a camera. It's amazing. I still use it a lot. I really do. I doubt it. I never heard. I don't think I'll be watching that. Be more like it'd have a virus on it. Oh, yeah, some of the stuff from back in the 80s. Scary. Although some of the modern stuff is even scarier. Not saying I watch it. Now, see, my kid wasn't really like that. I never got 9,000 questions out of my kid. I know friends of mine, and if he did ask a question, it was like almost like an adult was asking me. And the strange thing was, he had ADHD. And even though he didn't have a great attention span, sometimes he could carry on a conversation that was unbelievable. But I never used to get the 9,000 questions like some parents. Why? You'd answer them, but why? Like that kid. Where's the pictures? They're on here. Well, show them to me. Well, where are they? They're inside. I can't see them. That's right. Go bother somebody else. And you know, the auto show wouldn't give freelancers early entrance. And I'd have an assignment, say, to photograph the Ford display. Well, it's kind of hard to do it when you got fucking people. And people are the most ignorant assholes on earth when you're trying to take a picture. You tell them, hey, can you wait a minute? You know. And then you go to snap the shot and they... I'm trying to take a picture here. Oh. Yeah, you'd ask people, can you just stand... Can you stand still for a minute? I'd line up for the shot and then some other asshole would walk. And I used to complain all the time. I say, hey, can't you let us in like a half hour early at least? No, against the rules. But see, if they came in from like Auto Week magazine, oh, they got in early. But if I was freelancing for Auto Week magazine, no, I couldn't come in because I wasn't a staff photographer. And I would argue. I'd say, hey, how do you expect me to get the shots you want for the magazine if you can't get me in early? But whatever magazine I was a freelancer. And the freelancers didn't get the same courtesy that the staff photographers got. After a while, I was like, it ain't worth the money. The damn aggravation. Oh, I'll tell you what, nothing pisses me off more than to see kids left in a goddamn car. happens all the time. Parents today, they could give a shit. Yesterday, perfect example. I'm up at my little corner store. I come out. There's 2 kids sitting in the car while Dad's in getting a 12-pack of beer. That shit just pisses me off. That and animals. Oh, I'll tell you what. I go berserk if I see an animal. I'm not a dog person. I've been a cat person all my life. But it pisses me off to see somebody leave a dog in a car, leave a window cracked about, yay much, in the middle of summer. I'd like to call the police on him. But to leave kids sitting in a goddamn car, it didn't happen when I was growing up. My parents went in the store. I was right there, whether I wanted to go in or not. I never got left in a car. And like if my father would stop to pump gas, he'd make sure all the windows were down. Unless it was freezing cold, but he'd shut the car off, put the windows down, pump the gas, and never walk away from that car and leave me or my sisters, But it was a different generation. Now, latchkey kids, it came to a time where both parents had to work. So, yeah, the kid would let himself in, and if the parents were responsible and had snacks and stuff fixed so that the kid didn't, have to burn himself on the stove or something, I could agree with that, because nowadays, yeah, both parents got to work. But I'd hate to see what them latchkey kids are today. Mom, leave a note. Yeah. Your pizza rolls are in the freezer. Microwave them, X degrees. Don't get me started. At least I know I raised my kid right. Although I wish he'd get a job. But the hell that he went through, because he was, God, I'll tell you what, the day he was born, he had bilateral club feet. And one foot was twisted, it was upside down and backwards. Matter of fact, they were cleaning him up. I looked over the nurse's shoulder, I'm checking fingers. You get down to his legs and his feet, and I'm like, holy shit! What the hell's the matter with him? And boy, they got him right out of that delivery room. The doctor was telling me, calm down, calm down. 24 hours after he was born, he was in casts from his hips down. And every 2 weeks, they would cut the casts off and they would slowly twist the foot. And then they cast it until they got the foot straight. Then he had the big major surgery where they put pins in, straighten the foot and the toes. And then when he was 5 years old, they did tendon transfers to take the feet and pull them in. He went through hell for the first 6 years of his life. Then he was in them crazy backward shoes in a bar and a brace. I always used to tell my friends if he pissed me off, I would just hang him in the closet because he was bolted in that contraption to turn his feet. Yeah, I tell my friends, I says, kid pisses me off, I just pick him up, hang him in the closet. They were like, really? No, not really. And I'll tell you what, he built up some real upper body strength because he could push himself and hop along the couch with that contraption. Yeah, we went through a lot of fun. Ugh. I still remember that day. I'm like, what the hell's the matter with his feet? And boy, like lightning, he was out of that delivery room. We didn't see him for like 2 hours after he was born. And of course, before we got to see him, the doctor was like, oh, now don't worry. Things like this happen. We can take care of it. He'll be all right. And that was brutal, going in, getting them casts changed constantly. The only way you can tell now is if he wears shorts. Because from his knee down, his right leg is like half the size. Because they had to do they split the muscles and all kinds of shit to lengthen I don't know, whatever. It worked. But on the left foot, he wears a size 12, and on the right foot, it's like a size 10. And all he does is puts a sock in the toe, buys a size 12, but yeah, that's the only, normally, you can't tell. He walks normal as can be. But yeah, we went through some real hell when he was born. Really. All the time changes got me all screwed up. Let's see if we can play an outro without the tablet acting up. Come on, be nice. Be nice. Be nice. Oh. Unbelievable. It didn't want to play the outro. Or the intro. Whatever. Now we're going to play the outro. How many of you have this stuck in your head every night after we sign off? I know me, it's almost as bad as that cat food commercial. Meow, 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 meow. And I walk around like an ass singing that. Well, where's my clicker? I keep saying I'm going to make that clicker pointer bigger, but I never do. And with that, I thank everybody for being here. It's greatly appreciated. It was nice seeing that many in the chat tonight. And we will meet again right here tomorrow night. And with that, friends, have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you are. And we